Hello, I'm Paddy from creativemedia.org.uk and I'm running this digital piano off a battery. This one here. I go to a kind of off-grid music event several times a year, and I have to wait until the guy who runs the place switches on the generator before I can play my keyboard. Everyone has to put up with playing bongos and hippie stuff. So I thought maybe I could get some kind of power bank, like a Busker's power bank for this. They're very expensive, well, fairly expensive, and heavy and etc. And I'd only use it 2 or 3 times a year. And then I thought about using a car battery and an inverter. But if I got an inverter, I'd get a 12-volt car battery. I'd convert the power to the current, whatever, to 240 volts. I'm in the UK, around the 240 volts. Then I would use my keyboard transformer to convert it back to 12 volts. That seems a bit silly. So then I thought maybe I could just get a car battery. The car batteries are big and heavy. Then I thought, well, my friend Pete mentioned it to me. These things, which we already had one of, are jump starting devices for cars. So instead of using jump start cables, you just plug this into your car, into your battery, and it'll give you a boost and start your car going without trying to find something with jump leads and all that manoeuvring of cars and etc. So we've only used this maybe a couple of times, and it sits in a drawer most of the time, and it puts out 12 volts. This keyboard runs on 12 volts, so all I had to do was connect this to here somehow without blowing up my lovely keyboard. What I did was I got a cable that matches the one already on my power transformer, so a barrel connector, and got a bare end at the other end. Here we go. These are the bare ends at the other end, and worked out which way round to connect it and made sure that the voltages matched. You will need some kind of multimeter like this one, and what I did was I checked the voltage coming out of my official Roland transformer, which actually isn't 12 volts, and I compared it against the voltage coming out of this battery. And here's the very important thing: every barrel connector has a centre and an outside, a tip and a sleeve it's called. So I needed to check which way round the current goes. Is it a positive current or a negative current? Because if my current goes the wrong way through my keyboard, it'll kill my keyboard probably. So getting it right is very important. To do that, I put the positive probe in the inside of the barrel connector and a negative one on the outside, and saw whether the readout was positive or negative. And I did the same with my official Roland transformer and worked out which way round the polarity is, as they call it. Then I had to use the continuity checker on the same multimeter to work out which of the 2 wires connects to the outside and the inside, the tip or the ring. So once I've done that, and this wire very handily got a white stripe on one side and not on the other, so it's easy to tell which wire is which once I've found out which is the right one. So having done that, this particular jump starter I can connect through a couple of holes here, and I can remember that the wire with the stripe goes on the far side and the one without the stripe goes on the near side. I've added a little bit of solder to these 2 wires to make them a bit stiffer so they'll stick in the holes properly. You might need to do something a little bit different. So that is ready, and I can test that that's putting out the right polarity of voltage. Let's have a look on my meter. Yeah, that's saying minus 15.5 when I have it that way around, which matches what my Roland one puts out. Even though it says 12 volts on the box, it's actually 15.5. So now is the scary bit. plugging it in. And what I recommend is to plug it in, switch it on very briefly, and if things don't switch on immediately in the way that you're used to, turn it off straight away, then you may have a chance of saving your keyboard from having its electronics fried. This one has worked, and that's very exciting. It's now running off this battery. Now, as an extra, these batteries have a couple of USB sockets, so you might think you could get something like a tablet, like this one, with a low battery, with a backing track running on it, connect it to your audio input if you have one. This keyboard here is an audio input, and use this as an amplifier, which would be a great idea. I've got some music playing on here. But as soon as I plug in the power from this battery into the tablet as well as into the keyboard, I'm going to start getting a bit of noise, I think. Oh, wait a minute. That's it. Hear that noise? That's the kind of noise you're going to get, because the electronics on this aren't designed for playing audio equipment, they're just designed for starting diesel engines, so we can be a bit forgiving really. And we're going to get that kind of buzzing noise. So if you want to use the USB devices at the same time as your keyboard, I'd recommend getting a separate, probably a lot cheaper power battery for your USB devices, plugging them into that, and then you won't end up with this kind of loop of electricity coming into there and audio coming out of there, and I don't know the electronics of it, but it'll cause bad noises on your speakers basically. So that's an idea of how to power your keyboard off something you may already have sitting around in a cupboard and not be using a lot. I hope that's of interest to you. If you've got any more ideas about this, let me know in the comments. I haven't done a long test of this yet, so I don't know how many hours or minutes or days it'll last. The power bank claims to have 13,000 milliamps, so that's 13 amps. This thing pulls 2 amps at maximum volume, I guess. So in theory this could last maybe 6 hours on a charge of this, maybe longer if I'm not playing it at full volume. It might last quite a lot longer than that. I'm going to be going on a camping holiday with this fairly soon, so once I find out if it lasts for a long time or a short time, I will let you know in the description. So thanks for watching, and see you in my next video, whatever I'm doing, something random I'm sure. Cheers, thanks for watching.